Did you hear Mr. Webber's testimony earlier?
Yes, what Mr.
He
Webber...
basically said, what I heard him say was that there was a decision not to reduce summer school and a decision to address the cuts otherwise.
Correct.
You don't have the authority to do that, Chancellor. The council made a decision to do that in the budget, and the mayor signed that budget. That budget is now going to Congress. The only way that could have been addressed is through a reprogramming. And I haven't seen a reprogramming come over you. Have you all sent a reprogramming?
We have not sent a reprogramming, but my understanding is that I do have the authority.
Before you move to your understanding, I'm talking about the law. The law is what it is. Why bother to have a legislative body if people in the executive branch will do whatever they choose to do if they don't like the decisions of this body? That's a violation of the law. So why would you all do that?
Because that's not my understanding of the situation. My understanding of my authority.
You can change the budget however you wish, irrespective of what the council has done and what the mayor signed.
No, my understanding is that I am given a budget number, and that within that budget number, I can actually make managerial decisions about whether I, move from one budget number to, or one budget line item to another.
Why have you all sent reprogrammings over here in the past then? You sent a $100 million reprogramming over here about a year ago. We got a $4 million reprogramming not so long ago. We got a $40 million. Why did you bother to do that?
We are required to submit those reprogrammings to the council.
Well, where's the reprogramming for this? You made a decision to do something different. And if I understand what happened here correctly, you rolled that $9.1 million over into the RIP so that people lost their jobs because you decided that you weren't going to do summer school, you were going to RIP people.
That's correct.
But you don't have the authority to do that.
Again, my understanding is that I do have the authority as the agency head to make the decisions about moving budget from one place to another. And quite frankly, when we looked at the impact that cutting summer school in half would have to our children's ability to be successful in the long term, to their graduation rates, I was unwilling to make that cut, and I decided that, unfortunate as the cut was, I would rather see that cut happen to adults than to children.
I'd rather have that cut not happen.
Well, me too.
But you know what?
But the reality is that we have that cut.
I'm an elected official of the District of Columbia, and we had to balance a budget at the end of the day. And we did the best we could in order to balance that budget. Nobody wanted to cut summer school. But you don't, in my opinion, you don't have the authority to do that. And did you even advise us you were going to do that?
No.
All I got from you was an email on September 15th saying, because of council cuts, we're now going to start implementing those things. And by the way, you may say that it's an unintended situation to not point a finger at the council, and the media got it wrong, but they all got it wrong in the same way. And I've heard the mayor say it. The mayor constantly says, these council cuts have led to these rifts. I've seen it in the paper. I've seen it in Washington Post editorial, budget mandated cuts. So there's no question in my mind,
sir, all I
that
can
there was
do...
an intent to, wait a minute, I'm talking.
That's right.
There's no question in my mind that there was an intent to leave the impression that what happened to these people was at the doorstep of the Council of the District of Columbia. And then we learned today, on October 29th, that you, in your infinite wisdom, you and your unlimited authority, have simply decided that you're not going to implement what the council said, you're just going to do something else. That is unbelievably cavalier, Chancellor Rhee.
First of all, I'm telling you what our intention was and wasn't. You can choose to believe that or not, but what I'm saying, understand, but for potentially other people on the council, what I am clearly saying is that it was absolutely not our intention to lay the blame for this at the council doorstep. However, we did have to be clear, because when asked where the pressure came from, we did have to be clear that about 20.5 million of it came from council cuts. So that was our only intention. If you interpret that in a different way, I apologize for that, but all I can do at this point is tell you that that was not our intention, first of all.
Why did
Second
you
of all,
tell this council that you chose to do something else? You think that's inconsequential to say, I'm not going to do summer school, I'm just going to fire a bunch of people that will add up to $9.1 million? You think that's okay?
I think that in times when you are making difficult decisions, that things don't always happen in an ideal manner. Just as, let me give you an example here. When you cut our budget by $21 million, you did not call me to ask me whether it was okay to cut so much.
You don't have to.
Now, hang on a second. Wait a second.
You don't have to.
And the thing is, I don't actually blame you for that, because you were under a tremendous amount of pressure. You were under a time constraint. I understand that you had to make those budget discussions.
You know what? They need to
See
end
that
it
as
like
analogous? First of all, this was a public process in which a vote was taken, and it became the law of the District of Columbia. Why did you choose not to follow what the law was?
Because I did not believe it was in the best interest of children.
Do you realize the mayor signed that budget also?
Yes, I do.
So did you tell him you were just simply going to flout the law?
What I told him was that I was going to make the decisions that I felt was in the best interest of children.
Irrespective of what the law said?
No, because we would ultimately send down the reprogramming that we would need to.
What difference does you already ripped the people? What difference does it make then? It's moot. You took $9.1 million that we had said we were going to reduce summer school. You then said, I'm not going to do that because I don't like it.
Correct.
So I'm going to rip the people. So what difference does a reprogramming make at that stage? These people sitting out here lost their jobs because that's the decision you made. So
Correct.
what is the council supposed to do at that point?
Well, I think that the bottom line is that I am the agency director. And you commented earlier that in my infinite wisdom, I was hired to run this school district. I got a 13-0 confirmation vote from this council, so I assume, exactly, so I assume that in that.
I didn't confirm you to be a single authority, however. I confirmed you with the hope that you would follow the law.
Correct, but you also confirmed me believing that I had the skills, knowledge, and abilities necessary to be able to manage this agency
You
effectively.
thought you had such a compelling case. Why is it that we didn't find out until the day that you did this?
I have been very clear from the beginning about this.
Clear with who? You never told me. You emailed me about other stuff.
Sir, there have been multiple occasions over the last few months where I have tried to get on the phone with you to talk about some of these issues and
You
to
emailed me
know
about
exactly.
this trip. Why didn't you email me and say, why didn't you just send me an email that said, I'm not going to implement the summer school cut that the council made. I don't like it. I don't think it's good for children. I'm going to rip $9.1 million with it. You could have said that. That would take
Perhaps I should have, but I will tell you that on one particular day, I got on the phone on 2 different occasions with your staff members on a conference call that both of us were supposed to be on, during which I ended up hanging up because you were not available. So
that may well be true. Is that the reason why I don't know about this until today?
Well, what I'm saying is that I didn't absolutely make an attempt to try to communicate with you about some of what was happening with this trip.
So then, let me make sure I understand. If you couldn't get me on the phone at a particular time, that then authorizes you to flout the
No,
law.
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
Well, I'm
I did.
asking you what you say.
What I'm saying is that I did attempt to try to communicate with you about how we were making these decisions and what the decisions were.
Did you consult with the CFO and did you consult with the attorneys and they all told you that this was fine to do?
And now they're trying to
Yes.
rein her in and they can't.
All of them said it was fine to do.
Yes, our attorneys were involved in this, the CFO's office was involved in this. People knew the fact that we were making this decision specifically not to make the cut at summer school, but instead to make it in a way that would have less of an impact on students.
Yeah, and the way was to cut $9.1 million worth of teachers or whoever got cut, right?
Correct.
And you think that that was acceptable to do in your own unilateral exercise of authority?
I believe that was within my authority as the agency head, yes.
I mean, maybe we ought to just disband this council. I don't know. Why do we bother me? Why do we spend hours working on a budget and trying to figure out how to do this in a way that we thought was, you know, as less of a negative impact as we possibly could effectuate, only for you to second guess us